If you played Majora's Mask as a kid, before you dealt with death in your life, it taught you something about grief and coping. But if you play it again as an adult, it will teach you something else. A new and powerful lesson. How does it do it? How can this hidden story know when to reach the different versions of you? There's a potent formula for that, a secret potion, if you will, one that places Majora's Mask as a very different creature from other Zelda games. But before I tell you what this powerful substance is, we must concoct its many different narrative components. Let's start with Majora's most evident ingredient, one that is quite prevalent in other The Legend of Zelda games, a simple premise. Listen. In exactly 3 days, the moon is going to crash into our little world, and nothing is going to survive it. Say your prayers and bid your farewells, for no fortress, no mountain, no song, no emotion shall endure this cataclysm. All will turn to dust. The denizens of this world don't even know why this is happening. But then again, with facts that imperative, who has the time to conjecture? The moon is falling. I am going to die. This is going to happen. This sort of simplicity is not necessarily a strength. Some stories become flat or predictable. A lot of poorly executed superhero stories fall into this category, for example. But in Majora's case, that's not an issue, because this narrative structure is paired with yet another mystical ingredient, one that adds all the nuance a story could ever hope for: profound reactions. Yes, I am going to die. I understand the inevitability of it. But what does that mean to me specifically? What am I leaving behind? Who am I going to miss? What are my regrets? My last wishes? The denizens of this little world are vast and varied, and it shows. This fishman here is clinging to his last breath till the bitter end. He has a mission. He wants to save his eggs, his babies. He cannot fail now. This man has found nirvana by mastering the art of dancing right before the end. This poor man is terrified, but he holds on so dearly to his work ethics that he won't allow himself to flee without permission. If this was a game about every single character panicking, all of them cowering in the many corners of Clocktown, we wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But by seeing how different personalities interact with imminent death, we reach that sweet nuance. As a kid, this game shows you, teaches you, that different people deal with death differently. As an adult, the game asks you, how would you deal with it? Is there any of those characters here that feels a little bit like yourself? Would you be desperate to proclaim your love before the end? Or would you be dominated by unfathomable regret? Would you be practical and action-oriented despite the uselessness of it? Or would you drown in denial to deal with your difficult emotions? What would you do? The combination of those two ingredients create granular storytelling, the story that will meet you where you are. If you've dealt with death, and especially if you've seen other people dealing differently with that same grief as you, you'll have a deeper understanding of the game. But that's not a requirement, just an extra spice. But hey, we're not done here. Close your eyes. I want you to recall this game. Conjure an image of it in your mind. What do you see? It is a mask that should never, under any circumstances, touch your face. Is it a town dominated by a huge, strange, gyrating clock? Is it a masked salesman regarding you with a suspicious smile? Nuance makes a world pleasant to explore, a story engaging to read, but it doesn't help you remember it. This story sticks to your brain not because of its depth, but due to its third mystical ingredient: poetic aesthetics. But what do I mean by this? The best definition of poetic aesthetics I got comes from the Discworld. This is how Terry Pratchett defined his own world building: a universe where things are less as they are and more like people imagine them to be. What if I told you that the clock in Clocktown is actually not that big? It just feels big, so we see it that way. What if I told you that this block of ice didn't melt in 5 seconds, but it feels it did because we found a way to stop the unforgiving cold? What if I told you that this stage is not the centerpiece of this whole town? It just feels so because we're looking through the eyes of a musician. Not things as they are, but things as we imagine them to be. So we have clear symbols to hang on to. Who cares that a clock like that is not realistic? It adds to the weight of time, and that feels right. The weight of time feels realistic if the clock does not. Not the thing, but what the thing represents. And something really interesting happens when you combine granular storytelling with poetic aesthetics. At last, we're reaching our final magic potion. When I was a kid, I played this game and thought, cool, spooky Zelda. I can wear all of those masks and I can become all of those different characters, and that was a perfectly valid experience of this game. But as an adult, my perception shifted. The game gave me more to work with. Why can I wear all of those masks? Why can I become these other people? What is this game about? And this is where it gets interesting. I paid attention to different details that were there all along, just waiting for me. For example, if you want to help other characters, if you want to find a way to embody them, first you need to play a song called the Song of Healing. But if you think about it, you're not exactly healing them, are you? They all die, but in other ways, even after death, you are healing them. You're dealing with the biggest, most hurtful traumas. My current personal conclusion is that this game is about lost chances. It's about hope in the face of doom. But perhaps in 20 years, when I play Majora's Mask again, I will get to a different conclusion. That's because our final magic potion is granular symbolism. The symbols in this game will be as complex as the audience can take them. The story is varied enough to allow multiple interpretations, but simple enough so that any player, even children, can create their own different theories. Side note, something I only remembered when I was editing the video, you know who else is really good at granular storytelling and granular symbolism? Pixar. Their movies are approachable, everyone can enjoy them, but if you know where to look, they go oh so deep. If you play this game once every 10 years, you might find yourself finding new meanings to the masks every time. The world of Majora's Mask allows and encourages such interpretations. This is, of course, not the only way to make an unforgettable story, but I do believe that Majora deserves some study. This is not even the first video I make about it. The other one is about masks and death symbolism. I can't believe they made such a powerful game in less than 2 years, and following up the impossibly giant success of Ocarina of Time, you can tell this team was truly inspired, and we should learn from them.